Welcome to Your Health is Your Wealth. My name is Argo Duenas and I'm your host for today. I'm also the owner of Back to Nature Health and Wellness Center located at 115 Ridgely Avenue in Annapolis. I am a certified colon hydrotherapist and Reiki practitioner. Back to Nature has served the Annapolis, Baltimore, Virginia, Eastern Shore area for over 25 years. I think you would agree with me today that our children are our future. Yet, we are at a pivotal moment in time. Approximately 50% of our children are chronically ill, 1 in 6 diagnosed and suffering from neurological disorders, and believe it or not, over 80 million American children are prescribed prescription drugs. Did you know that America has the highest rate of infant mortality in the world or in the industrialized nation? Did you know that many of our children are dying from age-related diseases? Why are our children so sick? That's the question that we're posing today. And truly, I have as my very special guest today, Dr. Stephanie Reid from Baltimore. She's a naturopath. She authored a book called From Panic to Empowerment. Dr. Reid is also a songwriter, a singer, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, and my friend. She is here today to answer those questions, delve into the root causes of diseases, and offer us natural solutions to prevent and reverse many chronic ailments. She has helped over thousands of people reverse and prevent chronic ailments. And I'm here today as a witness to let you know that this woman is on a mission. And I'm on a mission with her to educate and empower people to take charge of their life and their health. God bless you.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you for having me on the show again.
Thank you. This is a Monday morning.
Yes.
We've had a lot of rain, and you came all the way from Baltimore in that rain. So I know you are committed, Dr. Reid, and that you're truly on a mission. And I have known you now for at least a couple years because we have locked arms.
Yeah.
We're partnering with a very powerful nutrition company that's doing a lot of work on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit about Dr. Stephanie Reid, where you're from, your business, your practice, and you're here today to enlighten and educate us. How to save our children. Am I right?
You're right. You're right. You know, it's interesting. We're all born with gifts.
Yes.
And as mine keep popping out, I get amazed. You know, I have been blessed with a lot of gifts, and when you're blessed with gifts, you're supposed to use them.
Share them.
So I am the founder of Your Healing Place, a natural medicine practice, which started back in 2005. And it started as a massage therapy practice because I wanted to shift negative energy and move people in a positive direction by getting them to understand how their body holds on to emotions and how their bodies holds on to trauma. Which leads to sickness.
Right.
Then over
Absolutely.
time, I went back to school, got a couple extra degrees,
Right.
and Your Healing Place was born.
Praise God.
Yeah, praise
Well,
God.
I know this book, From Panic to Empowerment. Here you go. Has truly been a blessing to many people, and especially to me. So I'm eternally grateful to you. And I know that you are on a mission to enlighten people, but to also make people aware that we have a mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely.
So it's just not the physical that we're here to talk about, it's the mental and emotional. When those areas of our life and our bodies are out of balance, that's truly when disease sets in. But now let's talk about America, okay? The number one cause of death in the U.S. today is heart disease. Number 2 is colon cancer. Number 3, believe it or not, is medical errors. And 1 out of 3 people are pre-diabetic or diabetic. In fact, in the state of Maryland, we have one of the highest cancer death rates in the nation. That's just why I'm back on the TV again.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, Anne Arundel County, we have the highest rate of adult obesity in the state of Maryland. That is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But with all of that being said, let us focus right now on our children.
Yes.
Why are our children so sick, and why are our young people developing age-related diseases and leaving the planet too soon? That's happening. We just had a death in our family.
Yes.
My grandnephew, not quite 2 years old. My niece put him to bed, for a nap, and he never woke up.
Oh, wow.
You know, they did an autopsy. They donated his heart, so his heart is beating somewhere on the planet, and we're grateful. But what they did find was black mold in his lungs, and this was in Hawaii. So environmental toxins.
Yes.
And let's talk about the foods, how our food supply and our water supply is truly being poisoned and polluted. Okay.
Yeah, so when we get sick,
Yes.
it's a combination of things. The body needs nutrition. And then when the body is malnourished and then it's exposed to outside toxins, then it's even made more weak.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so it's not these toxins and the glyphosates, which is Roundup,
Right.
and the vaccines and the other things that's contributing to it. The key factor is the body is not strong.
Absolutely.
Right? And strength
Absolutely.
comes from nutrition.
Absolutely.
And if there's no nutrition in Pop-Tarts
Right.
and cereal and crackers and cookies and all the snack foods we give our children are not nourished.
Right.
And then when they're exposed to poisons, then their little systems can't handle it. And 8-year-olds are now the highest rate of diabetes in the country, and that's really sad.
That's very alarming.
It is very alarming. So we have more cases of asthma and allergies, which is a gastrointestinal problem.
Yes.
Right? We have the eczemas. We have the childhood onset cancers, leukemias.
Yes.
This is all that lifestyle kind of thing going on.
And eating foods that's really not food. Here are a few stats. It says that 1 in 6 children have learning disabilities. 1 in 10 have asthma. 1 in 10 have ADHD.
Yep.
1 in 13 food allergies. These are children. 1 in 20 seizures. 1 in 68 autism, and 1 in 42 autism in boys. Now, I pulled that from the Children's March for Humanity, those stats.
Yes.
We are really in a crisis.
We are.
And, you know, it's time for us to just wake up. I mean, really wake up. You know, we talk to people every day, you and I and a lot of other holistic practitioners and even medical doctors have gone into integrative medicine, and it's like falling on deaf ears.
It is.
Don't eat fried foods. Don't eat junk foods. Don't eat sugar. Sugar feeds cancer. You know, stay away from the gluten. But it's like they're not hearing it.
Nobody's
Tell
hearing
me
it.
why?
Nobody. You know why?
Why?
Because it's too simple. It's too simple. We need things to be complicated in order to feel that it's important or it's viable. But when you are in a state of panic,
Yes.
you want simplicity.
Yes.
When you need to move from panic to empowerment to get your health or the health of your child in another direction, you don't want a 15-slide PowerPoint presentation. You want something practical.
Yes.
And in practicality terms, whatever you put in your body, whatever you put on your body, whatever you inhale will have an effect on your body.
Why is that so difficult, Dr. Reid, for people to understand? You know, and I say a lot of times we have misplaced priorities and misplaced values. You know, we will spend $300-400 on a pocketbook or a
Yes.
designer bag
Yes.
or get hair weaves. You're gonna pay $600 for hair
Right,
weaves.
right.
I'm just being real now.
You're right.
I'm
You're
telling the
right.
truth, okay?
Yeah.
And then we have to have somebody else's name on our jeans and spend $200. Oh, I've gone to Nordstrom's and I wear MAC and all. But you know, come on. What is the most important thing in your life? Our health is our greatest asset
It is.
and our most precious gift from God. Not our money, our cars, our homes, our bank account, our titles.
Right.
We're right now in panic mode because our children are dying
They are.
right before our very eyes.
They are.
And you're so passionate about it. Every Thursday, you're at the BWI Marriott, and you're teaching and you're preaching and you're on Facebook live.
Yeah,
And live. And you know, it's like, come on, wake up. It's time to really get real. But like you said, unfortunately, it's when you're sick and tired or sick of being sick and tired, like I was
Yes.
many years ago at age 24. I had very bad skin. I had cystic acne. I had severe allergies. I had eczema, chronic constipation. Of course, you know that's why I do what I do, because I see it every day that we're eating foods that are killing us.
Yes.
And you get tired, I get people who only go to the bathroom once a week, once a month.
Okay.
That is a serious problem, right?
It is.
And then you talk about the gluten, and the inflammatory foods that's creating these autoimmune conditions.
Right.
Dr. Reid, in your practice, you have had more than several conference calls with women that you have worked with, and have actually reversed things like breast cancer. Am I right?
You're right.
And this is on your website now. We're real here today because we don't have time to play.
Right. We don't have time to play.
Our children need us. Am I right?
Right.
And we need to save ourselves from ourselves.
Right.
Am I right?
You're right.
So these awesome testimonies that you have, tell us a little bit about them.
Well, shameless plug. Here's a shameless plug. It's not me that's doing this wonderful work. Your body will do what it needs to do if you give it what it needs and take away what it doesn't. Very simple. So my job is, I call myself your natural health coach. Right? Number one, I don't wear a white coat. It's not necessary. You don't have to say all these things that we just have to get to the root cause of the problem. What is the root cause of the problem? Spirit, mind, and body disconnections. When you know who you are from a spiritual, emotional perspective, you can delve into your belief systems. Your body relaxes enough for you to give it good things, and it's going to work. And so basically, when I was able to create a shift for these clients who had lupus and breast cancer and multiple myeloma and all the other things that they come to me with, it's just teaching a person how powerful they are in their own right by just shifting the focus. The focus is not the body. The body is just the part that's acting out. Right?
Yes.
That's the acting out person, like a little kid.
Yes.
I need some attention.
It's those 100 trillion cells in our bodies.
There you go.
Feed me, feed
Exactly.
me, feed me. And we ate Argo starch.
Right.
Some women in the South eat red clay.
Right.
When they get pregnant.
Yeah.
So there is something about being nutritionally deficient that the body, in its infinite wisdom, those cells know exactly what it needs.
They do.
And that's where you come in.
They do. And because I'm able to share that information in a way that's simple and the way that makes sense, then people are finding that simple is good. And it doesn't have to be complicated. So how do I do it? I teach people how to do something called reflect, reframe, and renew. If you reflect on your spirit and your emotions to get to the belief system and that story that keeps perpetuating in your mind, then your body can heal. So when we do add nutrition and we do add homeopathics or trace minerals or antimicrobial agents for parasitic infections, the body can heal. Because here's the problem. If we only focus on the body, the person will never get well. Because you're not a body only, you're a spirit, mind, and a body.
Absolutely.
And if you only work on the body, then you're still wondering, well, my prescription drug didn't work. And then you'll go, well, my natural medicine didn't work either. Well, your natural medicine will work because it's designed to work with the body's own ability to heal. But it's still going to have some limitations if you don't deal with the root cause, and that's why diseases keep coming back.
I had the wonderful opportunity to listen to a very renowned she wasn't a naturopath, but she is a medical doctor, had gone to Harvard, African American, Elaine Ferguson. She was on PBS. And she went even further. She said it's not what we eat, not what we absorb, it's what we feel. She says when that body is in a state of panic, a state of stress, it is actually creating and producing chemicals that are damaging to the cells, toxins. But when you're happy and you laugh and you're feeling really good, the body also manufactures and secretes happy
Good
hormones,
stuff.
good chemicals.
Oxytocin.
All right. So be happy, right?
Yes, be happy.
Be happy. But Dr. Reid, sometimes I grieve. I'm just going to be honest with you, because I see people every day coming in and they just want a quick fix.
Yes.
Okay, give me my colonic and then I'll be, no, it's not that simple.
It's not.
You know, and then as people start to develop friendship and begin to share, because they feel now that they're in a sacred place and they can be vulnerable, you know, and they begin to share their life, their story, and then they begin to see things. Well, what happened prior to me getting sick? One lady I met at Trader Joe's, I tell you, she has blood cancer. She said she was terminal. This is an amazing thing how God brings people together.
Yes.
And she was a researcher, you know, and making 6 digits. But she said she believed the stress in her life created that disease.
Absolutely.
And as a researcher, she is on now, I'm going to send it to you. Okay. She is now on a path to healing, because now she's realizing it's not the money, not the home. She's now sailing on a boat. She left the wheel. You know, the wheel that we spin around daily,
the hamster
you know,
wheel.
that hamster wheel. She changed her lifestyle,
Yeah.
and now her and her life partner are sailing, and she's happy, and she's getting great results. She's no longer taking chemotherapy. I mean, that's an awesome testimony.
It is.
That's
It
an
is.
awesome testimony.
Yes.
Now, in your practice, you it always encourage us to do the hair analysis. What is hair analysis? And why is it so important? I went to, I think it was your website, was it on Facebook? But somewhere you talked about your son,
Yes.
who had a copper,
It was a lead toxicity.
a lead toxicity. Can you share that?
Absolutely. Lead is something that's really an insidious kind of element that really draws attention to the things that we call learning disabilities and ADHD and all kinds of stuff. But lead is really interesting because you know what it does? It mimics calcium. So when a child is not getting enough calcium or able to absorb it, lead will mimic that and it will go to the bone and to the brain.
Wow.
And so after 30 days of exposure, it's no longer in the blood. And so when a child is acting out, the first test they want to give is, does this child have ADHD? Or does this child have lead?
Right.
But when they test it, if the exposure is short term, the lead is not a continuous exposure, guess what happens to the lead? It gets sequestered out of the blood.
Wow.
And so now the assessment tool that's used to find lead, I think is kind of antiquated because after 30 days, it's not in the blood. And so when they can't find it, they say the child has ADHD, we have to give it a drug. But if you did a hair tissue analysis, you would find the lead still in the child's system, and that would be your directing point leading to these other symptoms of illness and dis-ease in the child, whether it's cognitive development problems, whether it's stomach aches or joint pain. A lot of doctors will explain it away and say, it's just growing pains. No, it's lead. So what a hair tissue analysis does, hair pulls toxins through the interstitial fluid and blood, and it's found in the follicle. So when you cut the hair an inch from the scalp, the information is still there.
I don't mean to interrupt you. What part of the hair do you?
The scalp.
What part of the scalp?
The top of the head.
Okay.
The top of the head. So the first inch of the hair, closest to the scalp, is where I send to the lab.
Okay.
They're able to open up the hair follicle and actually see not only the nutritional elements, but also the toxic elements. So when my son was 5 years old, I got this nice little letter and it said, your son has been exposed to lead. And I'm like, okay. So at 21, no, he's 5, I'm 27 now.
Right.
I don't know what that means. So I love him, I nurture him, I do what I need to do. But I noticed that my child had some cognitive development issues. He was running all over the place and he always complained of a stomach ache. He had nightmares. He had joint pain. Those are all signs and symptoms of lead poisoning. I don't know where he got it from. He could have gotten utero from me because years later I tested him when he was a junior in college. And he says, Mom, I just can't seem to get it. Now, by the time he's a junior in college, I have tested hundreds of clients, and I saw this resounding theme of these toxic elements. And something told me, well, test Kevin. Well, I tested my son, and lo and behold, 17 years later, his lead levels were so high, it made me cry. So that's why he was suffering.
Right.
You know, he went to anger management. He had a speech therapist. He had all kinds of special training to get him, you know, keep him mainstream.
Right.
And when I did that test, I sent to him the minerals that the lab put together for him, and it's a mineral chelation process.
Okay.
It took 3 months for a 17-year load of lead to be removed out of his system. He said to me, Mom, it's like somebody turned the light on.
Wow.
And that was the best year for him academically, his whole career. And this is now his junior year in college.
That's an awesome testimony. So what are some of the symptoms again of lead toxicity?
Joint pain, stomach aches, nightmares, loss of weight or inability to gain weight, agitation, irritability. What else?
And what about
oh my
speech
goodness.
delay?
Speech,
Cognitive?
sometimes speech delays, inability to comprehend, comprehension.
Okay.
And so these are, and then isn't this the behavior that they want to give kids a drug for to calm them down?
They're easily put them on a
Right.
drug.
And so let me tell you what lead does.
Okay.
Lead sort of messes with the neurofibrillary entanglements of the brain.
Okay.
And it creates kind of like a physical and emotional agitation. And so when you have a child that's acting out, instead of looking at the child saying, you know what, you don't have any home training,
Right.
or you need to sit down, or you have behavior problems,
Or you're a bad girl.
you're a bad boy. Yes, right? Why don't we start looking at an assessment of hair tissue analysis to see definitively if lead is there? Because after 30 days of exposure, it won't be in the blood anymore.
Okay. So give us some of the sources of lead.
Oh my goodness.
I know there's talk
Some
about
of the-
paint and they're talking.
But those are the obvious
Those are
ones.
obvious, that's
What
right.
about the things that are not obvious?
For instance?
Like hot dogs,
Wow.
right?
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and some of the preservatives in pickles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
my.
also in things like potato chips and what else? Just general foods. Pipes, water sources.
Right,
But here's an interesting thing. If you're nutritively balanced, then lead has no place to go.
Okay.
But the reason why lead can latch on is because children, we are deficient.
That's right.
And so lead will mimic other elements.
Wow.
And so the best way to protect yourself is to get a hair tissue analysis, get your system balanced out, chelate the toxic elements, and then maintain a 90 essential nutrient support system.
Right. That's
which
60
is
minerals, 16
16
vitamins, 12 essential
amino
acids,
and 2
and
to
3
3 essential
fatty
fatty
acids.
acids every single
Every
day.
day.
That's how you do it. So
Absolutely.
that's how we protect our children.
Right.
You get the lead out through
That's
the
right.
hair tissue analysis, and then you nutrify the body consistently. But you also have to make sure that you don't give the child the things that's going to create the problem.
Absolutely. So you got to change your diet.
Change your diet.
And you detox, and then you nutrify.
Yep.
Now, there's an upcoming event
Yes.
that you will be participating in.
Yeah.
I saw that on Facebook, so I just checked it out, and I'm actually going to go on this march too and
Awesome.
participate. It's on Saturday, June the 17th in D.C.
Yes.
And it's the Children's
March for Humanity.
Would you
Yes.
elaborate on that?
The Children's March for Humanity is a phenomenal movement of just mothers and teachers and health advocates and doctors and engineers and all kinds of people who care about our future. Because guess what? 20 years from now, these same children that we're talking about who have all these diseases either won't be here to take over the country or they'll be too sick to.
Absolutely.
So we have to look toward our children as our legacy because they are. But now we have to really take that seriously and not take it for granted that they will be another generation beyond us.
Absolutely. What is the goal, the mission, and the objectives of the Children's March? I'm so excited about
Well,
this because
I'm
I don't
excited
usually.
too.
I'm just going to be real upfront and personal. I don't generally march.
Me
know.
either. I've never marched.
I'm being honest, but I am so impassioned
Yes.
about this because we've got children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. Our children are our future.
Yes.
And we need to just take a stand.
We do. We do. So the goal of the march, let me explain. The initial, the impetus of the march is in D.C., but 27 plus cities are adding every day are going to be marching simultaneously. The purpose of the march is to bring awareness to the things in the environment or the things in our society at large that are creating this challenge for our children. You know, besides the health problem, what about the sadness and the loss of the childhood experience because a child is so sick they can't participate in life as a child? What about the financial burden that's on the family? What about the sense of loss? I've even lost a daughter, and I know what that sense of loss is because of medicine or medical negligence or whatever the cause is. So bringing awareness, because a lot of times we say, well, this is happening to my child and we feel powerless. But if we knew that nutrition and vaccines and glyphosates or Roundup and GMOs and genetically modified things were creating the problem, then you can be more proactive and protecting your child as opposed to just willy-nilly. You know, eat your pizza and be quiet. Well, now you're gonna say, well, no, that pizza's not good for you because it's made with gluten or it has pesticides or hormones in it. And so the awareness factor is huge.
Yes, it is.
Because there's going to be a sense of awareness, then we're also going to bring into the reality, into the emotional set, that these children are going to be marching alongside us in their in uniforms of their desired profession,
I did
right?
see that.
So we're going to have miniature doctors and miniature lawyers and miniature judges and miniature engineers, and that puts a visual in the parent's mind and society's mind as a whole. If we don't do something, that child will not actualize that.
That's right. That's
right? And so it's a pull at your heart, because sometimes you have to TPA, tell that passionate story to where it hits so hard that you have to bang your fist and go, enough is enough.
So this is going to be Saturday again, right?
Yep, June 17th.
What's a website that our viewers can go to and learn more about it?
Yeah, the website is called childrensmarchforhumanity.org. Very phenomenal website put together by Brittany Valas. Valas. She is the spearhead, and she has a phenomenal story on that site. She has 5 beautiful children that she's concerned about, and they have some challenges, and she just started this grassroots movement, and here we are talking about it.
Wow.
Right?
Also on that website, I saw where you could purchase healthy foods.
Yes.
So that's good because, you know, you're downtown D.C. and you get hungry and you probably will be there all day.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome, awesome feature to add, that you can purchase your food,
Yes.
you know, at a very good cost. I say it was good.
Yeah.
Dr. Reid, what about gluten products?
Oh, my
Because,
goodness.
you know, honestly, I had another, I'm just going to be honest with you because we just got to tell the truth. I had another naturopath. She said, those gluten-free products are not good. It's just another scam. They're just taking advantage of it. But we know you still got to read your ingredients, right? Tell us.
Yes, I have a perspective on that. You want to hear it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Carbohydrates are not the most important part of your diet.
Right.
If you are gluten intolerant, then gluten-free options would be good for you, but they're not even necessary because the more carbohydrates, whether gluten or non-gluten, you're putting too many carbs in the diet, which causes inflammatory response, which causes gastrointestinal problems, which eventually causes malabsorption. Then we're back to the illnesses we just got finished talking about,
Absolutely.
right?
Those chronic
inflammatory diseases.
Absolutely.
So when you're talking about gluten, we're talking about a grain that's been genetically modified. It's been sprayed with glyphosate, which we know is Roundup, and the daisy protein is so tough that the human stomach can't break it down.
So that's wheat, barley, rye, and oats.
And that's why gluten is a problem, because it's so tough that the human stomach can't break it down, and it creates contact dermatitis internally, like you'd have poison ivy on your skin. And you know how uncomfortable that is. And that in turn creates that bloating.
Absolutely.
Right? But also the pain in the joints. I always like to give people, you know, like, Dr. Reid, should I eat this? I said, let's do an experiment. Eat it and tell me how you feel 24 hours from now. If you're hurting, tell me what it was you ate 24 hours early, and they go, oh, you were right.
See,
Right?
that is that connection of mind, body, and spirit.
It is.
The human body actually knows. The cells have infinite wisdom
Yes.
and infinite intelligence.
Yep.
We only have a few minutes left, Dr. Reid. Give us first of all your phone number where people can contact you, and a little bit more information once again about the march.
Yes, absolutely. Well, again, my name is Dr. Stephanie Reid, and on my practice website, yourhealingsite.com, you can actually speak to me and we can have a 15-minute free consult. Just give me a call, because guess what happens? This information sounds really good and then you get confused. It's no need to get let confusion stop you from moving forward. And moving forward is so empowering, because you get good information, you have to use it. So my phone number is 443-288-6326. Dial that number and I'd be happy to speak with you. But again, on the march on June 17th, we're going to be at the Capitol. I'm so nervous. We're speaking at the Capitol. We're going to be speaking at the Capitol with some other phenomenal speakers. We start at 10 o'clock in the morning. And after that, we're going to march to Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Right?
I am joining Dr. Reid, and I'm going to invite you, your family, and all concerned citizens to come out and march to save our children. Remember, in this very present moment, we do have the power to take charge of our life and our health and our children's health and our future. God bless you. Have a great day.